kind of do what we do. Um, Not that I know of 100%. I mean, I think y'all see a lot more quarterback run game going on right now, but I mean, I feel like as as players, we trust Max to throw just as good as Chandler does, and vice versa. So, as far as the first two games, I feel like that's just real big on kind of getting a groove for how the offense is going to be called, and just running through your game day stuff. I think the bye week was needed just to kind of see where we're at. We got two good big wins under our belt, so just excited from here on out. Obviously they're a really good team. They're 2-0 right now. Um, that's a rivalry here, so that'll be all the energy and everything like that. So, I'm excited for that one. I think that just shows that he's been ready for the spot. Obviously I played here 2019. He was a true freshman. He played a great game, so I kind of saw it from that game just moving forward. He's a great leader on the field, and I think that goes into him being a great quarterback. Just the consistency, in my opinion. Like I said, first two games with the new staff, it's always some getting used to. But with these first two games, the fact that we rushed more in the first game than we did this last game, I think that just proves that we could do it whenever we want to. We just have to want to all the time. I think culture is everything with in terms of how well your program's gonna perform week in and week out. I think Coach Cos and Coach Dykes have done a great job of just um, you know helping us learn the culture that's expected here, and I think the guys have done a great job just picking up on it and just buying in 100% to it. I think the possibilities with us are endless. Like you said, nobody's afraid to put their hand on the ground or have to insert and block a linebacker, but we can all get it done in the pass game as well. So I think just that versatility really helps us be an elite tight end group. Yeah, definitely. One thing that I learned out of recruitment in high school was look at the stats that the coaches are offering more than if they're trying to sell their program on whatever it is that doesn't involve football. Um, so the fact that I think he had Calcaterra last year had 60 something targets. I was big on that, and that's ultimately kind of what got me here.
It's been good. Obviously, we miss Bud, but I had to come in and play that role and take over, so it's been good. Just coming into it, adjust. We feel pretty good. We're flying around, moving to the ball. Everybody's really picking up the pieces. We're kind of early with it, but I feel like as games go on, we'll develop more and just be ready to play. Like the defense. Oh well, I'd say we had the spring. So the spring we started off learning the D, and just really the whole spring. That's all it really took. And then obviously fall camp helped. Just learning, going through it. It's just reps and repetition. Just get better. We can't. SMU is a great team, so we can't deny that. We just got to get better, working on our technique, assignment, alignment technique, all that. I mean, each week's a big game. That's how we look at it. That's how we pursue it. So each week, we're just gonna take it another step at a time. Just go. Uh, Perfect timing. We're gonna get our rest. We're 2-0 right now. Get our rest. Just recover. Just be ready for SMU. Uh, a little bit. I mean, we're still obviously working out, meetings and all that, but we got a little downtime. But we're still on the gear. We're preparing for SMU. I try to stay in tune with football. I just like to see college football all around, across the board. So I like to stay in tune. We knew a lot of upsets happen. Coach Dyke kind of informed us like we don't want to be an upset alert on us. So we just took that into account and really try to play well. Uh, each day in and day out. We got Q, DD, Tay Barber. All those guys are great receivers. So each day you get the best competition. I feel like in the Big 12. So each day you're getting prepared for your week. Like I said, SMU is a great team. So I wouldn't say a long 2 weeks. We're ready. We're going to prepare for them. We're going to come out there and show out. It's very different. I mean, but we enjoy Coach Dyke. We brought him in with open arms. I think he's transformed the tradition around here at TCU, and he's really bringing us together. So much. Yes, sir. I mean, all the speeches he's given us, the motivation throughout practice, all that. Yeah, it's a big difference. Hmm. Of course. Yeah. I mean, we know it's motivation, but at the same time, like I said, we're looking at it as another game, just trying to take it week by week and just go out there and ball.
What's up, man? How y'all doing today? Good. Yes, sir. Missed a little bit of fall camp. Got some games going. Got some games under my feet, and now I'm back in action. So got my feet wet. I'm ready to go now. Yeah. Yes, sir, they were all right. It was good for me. Much more of understanding that I hate having balls caught on me. So I'm very passionate whenever it comes to the breaking point and making sure that the receiver doesn't catch the ball. So whenever I have that chance and I see the ball in the air or he's, what I'm saying, attempting to, if I'm not in position to get an interception, I would rather more, plant through eyes and hands and make sure he doesn't catch the ball. We played really good as a defense these past few games, and we can only get better. You know, we're still learning things and making changes and stuff like that to become that great defense that we can be someday. So there's always room for improvement, but it's also early in the season, and we have enough time to become who we are planning to become. I love it, man. It allows us to show our physicality as far as corners. You know, it allows us to play with the eyes a little more, and then also we have some different packages and stuff like that that more corners can come on the field for and it allows him to play more guys as well. So I mean, being able to show more side of my physicality and everyone else's is it has been good for me, and it's given everyone else a good look. So I feel like this defense has been nothing but good for us. So he came in and he didn't miss a beat. I feel like Josh is a great cornerback and he has room to grow, so he will only get better. And he has been a good you know person to bring into this room, and he has positivity and he's a very positive person. So he's been nothing but good for our room and our defense. Uh, I mean, we could go in and watch film, and make sure that we correct the things that we do miss out on. But as far as what I'm seeing is, what I'm saying, like it hasn't been really anything that has been really just eye opening that everyone else should be able to see. But as a defense as a whole, we know what we should be working on. So that's more so the side of how I feel about it. This defense is more so of making sure that no one is getting over the top of us. Keeping everything in front of us and playing with eyes. So with us being able to play with eyes and we having everyone, what I'm saying, keep everything in front of us, it allows us to make more plays on the ball, get turnovers and get the ball back to the offense. Yeah. Dominic, he's a young athlete, he just turned 18 and it shows on his film. He's very dominant. A lot of alumni have already brought it up to me about how much of an impact he has already had on the defense, and him putting pressure, what I'm saying, along as with the other guys has done nothing but help us get, what I'm saying, bad throws and stuff like that. And it interrupts the timing. So as long as we're in coverage and those guys are doing what they do up front, this defense will be very good. I think of it as another game. I prepare for every game the same way. I don't take anyone light. Uh, I mean, it'll be fun, man. They're doing all that over there as far as with the poster boards or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to football. So we'll see how it goes in. It's on the internet. It's on the internet. I seen it, but it's on the internet. I don't know where it is or whatever. But they kind of been doing what they do with it on the media. So I feel like we just as a whole, uh, we had a couple guys that were out, and I feel like everyone's, what I'm saying, we just didn't end up coming out with the win. I feel like we could have played way harder. You know, it's always another level that you can always tap into whenever it comes to, those type of games. And I feel like as a team, we just, you know, didn't hit on all cylinders at some point. And, I feel like as a whole now, like we're all locked in, we're a family, we're one. So like this game will go how, we come out and we play and how we've been looking, it'll be great for us, you know. And I'm loving the way this team has grow and how we're, you know what I'm saying, continuously becoming improving. So, you know, I feel like we're a much better team this year and we'll be able to showcase that these coming Saturdays. Mordecai has been great for them. He was my quarterback in high school, you know, so I've seen him plenty of times and I'm proud for him of what he's doing over there. But I mean, just like we've seen quarterbacks these past few years, so I mean, it's really nothing. Yes, sir, for sure. I've always known the type of guy, type of quarterback that Tanner was. You know, like I said, I played with him in high school. I thought that he was really going to do big things at Oklahoma if they would give him a chance, you know. And, you know, he's showcasing it over there at SMU. So congrats to him. I mean, you could tell that he's really a player's coach, you know. But whenever he has to come in and if he feels like anyone's not locked in, then, you know, he'll make sure that we get locked in, you know. So he's much more so of making sure that everyone is together and, you know, making sure we're playing for one another. And but if things do begin to go south as far as that, he'll bring everyone back into it. So he's done nothing but good stuff for our, you know, team. What'd you say? What did you? Oh, I mean, we're starting to, you know what I'm saying, do a lot of that stuff tomorrow. So, I mean, we've been watching film on them and uh we have a personnel and stuff about them now. And you know, we seen them last year, so we still, you know, they pretty much have the same type of guys. I don't think they have too many newcomers or whatever, but we've pretty much seen them and we kind of know what to expect. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that he'll be able to have a lot to say or give feedback on as the week and stuff goes on. So once we get into practice and all that, we start to make adjustments to whatever, you know what I'm saying, things that they'll try to hit us with him being over there and knowing how they're, you know what I'm saying, gonna try to attack us, you know. So I mean, you know, it's Dallas and then it's forward, you know, and you know, they call it D Town, we call this Funky Town. So, you know, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a big environment, you know, and their side is trying to win over, and then we're also trying to win over. So it should be a great environment. I love playing in great environments. My teammates do. So let's go. Yeah, I do. I wake up pretty early every morning anyway. So I mean, I like getting, you know what I'm saying, to act, you know what I'm saying. I don't like to wait. So whenever we do have those early games, I'm ready for it. With receiver, me and Q, we go at it every day. So you know, it's Q for the most part. But I also do like to see other receivers on the teams because all our other receivers have different, you know what I'm saying, things that they're good at and different ways that they do stuff. So, you know, it's not always good to just cover one receiver, you know what I'm saying, all day. It's good to see the other one. So as long as I'm doing that and seeing everyone, I'll be prepared for any other type of receiver, you know, because every receiver is not going to be, you know, 6'5" or, you know, 5'10", 5'11". You know, they come in all different sizes. So I like to see everyone, but for the most part, I like to get, you know, good work with Q, knowing that he has been great for this, you know what I'm saying, program. Have I ever committed a pass interference? I mean, yes, sir. I have. I mean, when you look on film, you can't deny it. If the ref calls a flag, then that's what they want to call it. But me personally, I feel like I haven't. I've been called for it. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's one of those where you get, you know what I'm saying, you might get called for doing some stuff that you feel like it wasn't that, but they say it's that and they have to say so. So it's like, all right, but I did that. But me personally, I feel like I haven't. All right, y'all have a good day.
All right, good to have an open week. It's probably not my preference, honestly, to have one this early in the year. Um, I think we'd like to play probably till the middle of the season, or ideally, but schedule just turned out this way, and so we're having one here 2 weeks into to the season, and it's really never a bad time, I guess. In some ways, we'll certainly be able to use the rest and the extra practice and preparation, all that stuff, for the upcoming game. But um, I think we'll have a good week of practice. We gave our guys today off and yesterday off, and then we'll come back in, have pretty heavy practices Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then kind of get into our um, weekly routine really on Sunday the next week. And so it'll give us a little one extra day to kind of rest up on the back end for SMU. So anyway, that's the schedule coming up. I think our guys are appreciating the break, hopefully getting rested and take care of themselves, and focusing on academics and having a good week. And then, like I said, we'll get after it tomorrow at practice and go from there. I think it's in a good spot. I don't think it's in a great spot. I think that we've played probably six pretty good quarters of football so far, offensively. Second half of Colorado, I thought we played well. Scored every possession except the last one that we took a knee on, and then I think we scored every possession the other night. I know we fumbled going into the end zone one time, and then punted one time, and then ran the clock out at the end. So, um, I think they're executing well. It's probably not as clean as we want it to be. I don't think that anybody really across football, pro football, college football, is probably executing quite as clean as they would like to, or quite as clean as they need to. But I think we're making some plays. We got a lot of good players. We had a lot of guys catch balls the other day. I think we had 18 different offensive players touch the football in the Tarleton game, and so we're getting it spread around to different people, and guys are making plays when they have opportunities to do it. But there's still a lot of stuff we got to get cleaned up. And the one thing I do like, we've only turned it over once, and we have to continue to take care of the football that way. Yeah, Quincy's probably going to be out for a while. I would anticipate Savion practicing tomorrow and being back at it full speed. Yeah, I mean, I think Max is just getting more and more comfortable with what we're doing offensively. I thought he made really good decisions the other night. He's doing a good job taking care of the ball. Um, went back this morning and rewatched the Tarleton game just to kind of look at some things that felt like we needed to improve on, and thought he did a good job staying in the pocket when he needed to, and thought he did a good job leaving the pocket when the situation called for him to leave it. And then he did a good job completing passes and getting the ball to guys out there that can make plays. And I think, we've said it before. I think in a lot of ways, the quarterback position is much like a point guard. You just distribute the ball to people and kind of let them do what they do. And Max has done a really good job of doing that so far. And as I said, he gets more comfortable, more confident. The more games that he plays and the more reps that he gets in practice, he'll continue to get better and better. It's like anything else. We've got to be. We know things are going to have to be more precise as we get along through the schedule. Certainly, we're going to play better teams than we've played the first 2 weeks, and when you play against better competition, you have to perform better, and your precision has to be better. Ball's got to come out on time. Ball's got to be thrown in the right spot. Routes have to be sharp. Got to do a great job picking things up on the offensive line and running back position. So all those things kind of go hand in hand together. But feel like Max gets better every time he goes out and practices, and certainly every time he plays. Yeah, yeah, I'm starting to feel better about that group. I mean, it's like everything else. I mean, there's no college football team, pro football team, whoever it is, feels like they have all the depth they need. And you always worry about some spots. We had a couple of injuries at the linebacker position. Our hope is we'll get Marcel back pretty quickly, and that'll give us another healthy body once we get him back. And so it's in a lot of ways it's kind of been uh, football by committee. With the defensive front, some in the back end, at running back, at wide receiver, some positions for us. We feel like we've got a significant amount of depth and a bunch of guys that can play. And I think that there's starting to be some younger guys that emerge at that linebacker spot. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of always been my approach. I know the narrative here at TCU when we were at SMU was that was we put all the chips in the table and did all this for that game. I mean, we had the same approach over there when I was there that we're having over here. I mean, it's you get 12 chances to play, 12 guaranteed games, um, and that's it. And you better play well in all of them. And nobody really cares who you play well. I mean, Tarleton. People say Tarleton's not a big game until you lose to Tarleton. Then all of a sudden it's a huge game. And so it's it's like anything else. I mean, you get to play the games on your schedule. They're all important. There's not that many of them. These players, work 300 plus days a year for 12 opportunities, and so you want to go out there and make the most of all of them. You know, that's football. I mean, you're going to play. The week after we play SMU, we play Oklahoma. I've heard of them. They're pretty good. And so, you know how it is. I mean, we just got to, our schedule is going to be like that. The Big 12 is really good. And so, we don't need to circle games. I don't want to be that kind of program, where we circle games. And I think that's a step we can make in the right direction. I mean, and learn from, you know, um, learn from our experiences. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, sure, you do some. I mean, obviously pay attention to scores, and I'm a big believer in trends. I just think that trends tell you a lot, really, about what's going on, just in terms of what's happening and momentum and all those kind of things. I think are really important, and so there's to me the Big 12 is certainly trending in the right direction when you just look around the league. Um, there's good football teams. They're competitive. Um, you know, they're playing really well. Um, in some of the non-conference games, and there's been some competitive ones. Obviously, saw the Baylor BYU game the other night. It's a heck of a ball game. Two good football teams, and a future member of our league that's a very good football team. And so you pay attention to that kind of stuff, but at the same time, at the end of the day, you're worried about your own team and just making sure that you continue to get better and that you're trending in the right direction. Sure. Truly, just by knowing that from experience, by doing this for a long time, that truly every game is vital and really, really important. And I don't take any of this stuff personal. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not healthy. It's hard to stay in this profession for very long if you do take everything personal. It's hard to stay sane and keep your sanity. And I choose to try to keep mine. And so, we get to play another game a week from Saturday, and my focus is on our team and how can we get better. And I don't think standing up and in front of our team and pleading for them and and doing all this stuff. I mean, these guys know. I mean, they know what's going on. We'll never talk about it. I'll never mention it. I don't have to. And so because of that, I mean, it's going to be fine. We'll just try to get ready to go play another game and try to put our best foot forward and play well. Right. We won't really talk about that. I mean, that's something that, you know, I mean, look, our guys are going to play on the road in the Big 12. We're going to play in front of 100,000 people when you go play in this league. I mean, that's just the way it is. And so um, I think our guys will be in a good spot that way. Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, no, I thought, Amon Carter Stadium it's a beautiful facility, first of all, and it's a great setting on game day. But it's a whole lot better when the stadium's full and rocking, and it's got a good atmosphere like we had on Saturday night. And it's a fun place to get a chance to play. I know for our players, it's a fun place to coach, and it's just a fantastic facility. And it was good to have that many students out. I mean, I think same thing. I mean, the students only get so many opportunities to go to those games and those events. We have 6 home games this year, and we only have 5 left. And so the students did an unbelievable job coming early. They were loud. They were involved. I think they stayed longer than I thought they would. Considering kind of the way the game went, and I was really impressed with them and very appreciative for them trying to get out and support their classmates. And really, that's what it is. I mean, the one thing that we've tried to do is a football program is understand that in order to ask for something you have to give something, and we're trying to give our support to other sports, whether it's basketball, women's basketball, trying to get our players to get involved in on campus community and organizations and that type of thing, so that they'll get to know some of their classmates better. These guys are busy over here all the time, but you want them to have as much of a college experience as they can. And a big part of that experience is to go and attend sporting events and, uh, you know, organizations and things on campus and kind of go be a part of those. And so, our players, I know they were very appreciative. I heard some guys talking about how impressed they were with the fan support, what a great atmosphere it was. And I certainly felt that way. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, to me, I think it makes sense for teams that are close to each other to play each other. That's why it makes so much sense for USC to be in the Big Ten because they're right there next to each other. Um, yeah, but I think that I think that that's part of the rivalry of college football. That's what makes this thing great. Is that um, a lot of these folks grew up together, went to high school together, then went their separate ways for college, and now they're at the water cooler on Monday, and I think that's part of what makes college football great is that. And so, from my perspective, when you can play people close, whether it's North Texas or whether it's Baylor or whether it's Tarleton State or Stephen F. Austin or whoever it is, to me that makes a whole lot more sense than it does, like I said, to play Rutgers. And just because again, there's going to be um, there's going to be a better um, community of fans that can come and be a part of it, and that's really what it's about. Yeah, yeah. Well, I recall uh, Turpin running a punt back for a touchdown and almost running another one back. Felt like we were in the game until that happened, and gave up a left punt return for a touchdown, and like I said, another long punt return. So that's the kind of stuff that I remember, and not much else besides that, honestly. You know, um, Nothing right now. I mean, I think he's starting to do some rehab. I think for last week it was more of okay, rest and recover, and now it's more in the rehab mode, and trying to get him going again. So I feel good about the timeline and where he is right now. Um, I don't know how this week's going to play out. A lot of this stuff depends on you get him rested up, you try to get him healed, and then you start with a small amount of activity, see how he responds a little bit more, and then that kind of determines how quickly you end up where you want to end up. And so I think he's on track right now to get back pretty quickly, but we'll kind of see how the week plays out.
Coach, I'm not going to say this has never happened before, but I will say that it's pretty rare that somebody like you, rare for a coach,
Yeah, yeah.
How much of an advantage is that for you?
Oh, it's you know how it is. I mean, it's an advantage. It's also an advantage for our opponent in the fact that they have every single practice tape that we've run for 4 years. You know what I mean? And every play that we've run. So there's always familiarity between kind of you know when you get into a situation like this, and at the end of the day, these things are always come down to players, and it's about players. And you prepare your team the best you can, and every team has strengths and weaknesses, and that matters. I mean, obviously, when you understand somebody's personnel, that certainly helps. But at the end of the day, now you've got to go out and those players have to make plays, and those guys, as coaches, we have to put them in good positions to go out and make those plays. So, I think that it certainly doesn't hurt, but as I said earlier, you got to say, well, that there's also probably an advantage for them by having all that additional tape and cut ups and all the stuff of everything we've done over there for the last couple of years as well.
It's a kind of similar question, but how how difficult will it be for these kids that you recruited and rooted for to now change and not help them? I'm talking about the SMU players, of course, hoping they don't have success and being upset when they do.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, we recruited those players over there, and when you go through the recruiting process, a lot of those players chose to come to SMU because of a relationship, and the relationship is real, and you care about them, and you love them, and you invest in them, and they invest in you, and there's a bond and a trust that develops, and and it's just like anything else. When a player chooses to enter the transfer portal, you're disappointed, but you certainly understand if they think that they're bettering their situation. And any player that left the portal or entered the portal when I was at SMU, it was the same thing. I was disappointed, wish it wouldn't have happened, but I certainly understand if they thought it was going to be beneficial to them. And I think it's kind of the same thing for me. And I think we all understand that. And I think we all appreciate that and respect that. And so I think that, my hope is that the players know that we worked incredibly hard to put them in the best situation that we could to be successful. We had some success, not as much as we wanted, but we certainly had some. And and that's kind of the way it is. And I think everybody appreciates and understands that's the situation and the way things work sometimes. And um, and it's like anything else, you got to just kind of do the best you can and move on. Well, he's played a lot of football. I mean, I think that's the big thing. Is I think he started his 30th game at TCU last Saturday, and there's not many college quarterbacks that can say they started 30 college football games. There's just not that many guys that have that kind of success and have that opportunity to play as early as Max did. And so he's a very accomplished quarterback, and some of the things that he's done while he's been here at TCU. I think all you have to do is put the tape on. He's had a lot of big wins. Um, he's played in big environments. He's played with his back against the wall. And one thing about Max, he's always going to respond. I mean, he's incredibly tough physically, but I think he's even more tough minded. And I think that's the one of the most important characteristics you're looking for from your quarterback is somebody that handles success and adversity the same. Just understands that, hey, look, if I go and I throw for 500 yards, that's great. And if I go and I throw 5 interceptions, that's not so great. But I got to figure out a way to keep improving and get better and put it behind me, whether it's good or bad. So who was? I'm sorry, Abe. Okay, yep. Good, good. I mean, Abe was going to play a lot of football anyway because he's one of those guys that has deserved to play, and I think he's played well. Thought he made a bunch of plays in week one. I think it's interesting. When you play different styles teams and different style of games, there's going to be some players that stand out because of they get challenged consistently during the game, and there's other games where guys aren't going to get challenged as much, and they're either going to have success or they're going to have failure. And sometimes, the ball may not go to a certain guy, but that guy may not have covered that receiver particularly well, and it's still not a good play for you, even though they just didn't happen to throw it to him. And so, I guess having said that, the last 2 weeks, I've been impressed with the way Abe's played. I thought he has tackled well. I think you go back and look, especially against Colorado, a lot of open field tackles. Did a great job getting guys on the ground. And I thought he's covered pretty well as well. And so, he's had some opportunities to make interceptions. He's been in the right place, I think, consistently. He can really run. He's a guy that's very athletic and gets started very quickly, and can start and stop and do all the things that you want a good defensive back to be able to do. And so I like his attitude and the way that he's worked. And um, it's like anything else. We will certainly be better when Bud comes back, because now there's going to be two guys playing that position, and they're going to be able to spell each other, keep each other fresh, and that'll contribute to our success. Yeah, I think so. Same thing with Bud. Bud's kind of on the same thing as Chandler, in terms of we're pushing him a little bit more and seeing how he reacts and where he's at. And I would think by Friday or Saturday we'll have a pretty good indication of whether or not he's going to be available next week. Well, I think it's like anything else. I don't know that most high school seniors know that. You know what I mean? You've got to try to kind of get your message out a little bit. And uh, I think anytime that you have young players that have success, I think that helps you in recruiting. I think that people, high school kids will look at you and say, "Well, this kid came in and played as a freshman, had a lot of success." There's also two ways to look at that. If for example, and this happened to us certainly when I was at Cal. We had Jared Goff. He came in, started as a freshman. Well, if you were a high school quarterback, you could look at Cal at the time and go, well, they had a lot of success with this freshman quarterback, but at the same time they were going, well, I'm not going there. Why would I go sit behind this guy for however many years? And so it's like with everything else, there's kind of a positive and a negative about a lot of different things. But I know it helps our team. That's the one thing I do know is that when you can get a lot of different players involved, it helps the morale of your program. It helps young players develop. It helps wear and tear on the older guys, and I think it's really valuable, to be able to spread the football around and have a lot of different people participate in success. And so I think that does help in recruiting. I think it certainly opens some people's eyes and certainly doesn't hurt. Right. Well, I think it just depends. I mean, I think sometimes, I'm sure there's going to be some games that we're a favorite in the rest of the year, I think. And I'm sure there'll be some that we're an underdog in. And so, I think the one thing that you learn the longer you're in this business, and it's one of the things that I have to do a good job about teaching our players, is just understanding that, you have to go out and you have to play as well as you can play, regardless of who you're playing against. And those, like I said, the days of circling these games and all that, those are long gone. I think that, the one thing that we have to do as a program, and if you go back and you look really at the last 3 years at TCU, I think we're 0-11 against SMU, West Virginia, Kansas State, and Iowa State. We haven't beat any of those teams since 2018. And so, that's a long time to not beat some of those teams. And so, I don't know why. I don't know. But again, that's a trend, and it's something that, um, that we have to get fixed. And this is our opportunity a week from Saturday to beat one of those teams and to try to get back on the right track when it comes to playing against some teams that seem to have had our number here recently. No, no, not really. I think most of our guys will. I'm sure we'll be watching it, and my guess is too we'll have a couple of players that'll probably be with some family and that kind of thing this weekend as well. So you know, we'll be watching it, and we'll be waiting to get the tape and get an opportunity to break it down. We're going to probably end up having to work late Saturday just because We want to be able to get a good day's practice on Sunday. And we probably won't get that tape till midnight, I guess. And so, we'll be burning the midnight oil up trying to get that broken down and added into our cut-ups and that kind of thing so that we can go out and have a good practice on Sunday. Yeah. Again, I feel really good about the league moving forward. I mean, I really do. I think you go and you look, I don't know how, I know the Texas game was ranked very high. Texas is in our conference right now. I know a lot of people in terms of watching the game. I know there was a lot of interest in that game. And again, for at least this year, Texas is still in our league. I don't know how much longer that's going to be the case. But so there's interest in that. And then there was obviously a lot of interest in BYU and Baylor Saturday night as well. And I think it speaks to the strength of our league and the interest that people have in this league outside of this geographic area. People will watch good football. When there's two good football teams playing each other, people will tune in and watch it. And obviously the Texas Alabama game was good football, and obviously the Baylor BYU game was good football, and I think both of them had really high ratings because of that. And so our hope is that we can keep putting a good product on the field, and that people will decide to tune in and watch our games as well. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, appreciate it.